let's get physical. March 4th until the 8th. Let's get on with this because, I've got Final Fantasy VII to play, guys. Unicorn Overlord is the big daddy-o this week, and really maybe any week. This is Vanillaware's latest game, and it's looking like an absolute magnum opus. When it was originally announced, I wasn't sure how to feel. I'm not always a fan of their art style, especially with characters and animation, but the closer we've been getting to release, the more I'm definitely feeling it. Reminds me of Dragon Force, Fire Emblem, and it seems to be like a really wide-reaching game with loads of stuff going on. Oh man, I wish I had the time for something like this now, and I hope it's a big success, and I hope the stupid name doesn't hurt the sales. I mean, they've been taking some advice from Square Enix on this one, and I'm not usually one for collector's editions, but my lord, or maybe I should say my overlord, this game has an amazing looking collector's edition that you can get from Video Games Plus. And our executive producers Brent McLean, Precision Plague, Feig, Robotech, Jennifer M, Alexander Cato, Vey, Dane Wilkinson, Issa, Parsnip Coffee, and JCrod7776, they've chosen this as their pick of the week. And if you want it, or any of the retail releases in this episode, then please consider using the links in the description. You can purchase from Video Games Plus, a fantastic way to support us. They have good prices in cheap Canadian bucks. They have cheap shipping, especially to the US, and even free shipping worldwide if you purchase over 80 Canadian bucks. They have lots of great stuff over there and are my preferred way to pick up retail releases. Plus, if you purchase something via our link, then each week you will be in with a chance of winning a $10 discount coupon. And this week's winner is Girinex H. I'm really sorry, I've never seen that name before. But thank you ever so much for your support, I greatly appreciate it. And VGP will contact you very soon with your $10 discount coupon. Expeditions, a mud runner game, is releasing this week. This is one of those games that looks incredibly boring on the surface, but has an indescribable addictiveness to it. I mean, you're driving on mud from A to B, but the way you approach your goal, which route you take, how you want to do it, there's some very cathartic things about it. It's like a puzzle game almost. Maybe a similar kind of feeling to something like Death Stranding. It's just you and the elements. You can be a manly outdoorsman. You might even grow a beard playing this, and you'll have an unquenchable thirst to buy a machete. Shadows Over Loathing is releasing physically this week. This is a sequel to West of Loathing, and even though the first game was highly rated, this game, well, it's incredibly highly rated. It may look simple and goofy, and it is, but it's super good at doing that. Humor, storytelling, puzzles, a decent length to it. It can be considered a classic indie game. There's a standard edition as well as a collector's edition, which includes a compass, which can help you find your way when your missus drop kicks you out of the car once she realizes how much money you've spent on useless tat over the years. This looks fantastic, and I assume it's going to be popular. You may remember the first game was originally done physically by Limited Run, but alongside this sequel, that also has now got a wider retail release with a new publisher, new artwork, and you should get them both together. And our executive producer, God of Resin, have chosen this as his pick of the week. Emergency Call, the Attack Squad, is getting a physical release in Europe this week. This is what you need. Thrilling, running in a warehouse, baby. Mild firefighting. Look out, Jeff, the shed's on fire. Rest in peace, Lawnmower. Paw Patrol Grand Prix Complete Edition is maybe releasing in Europe this week. Not sure if there's a North American version coming or not, but not to worry because this is just a re-release of a game, but now with some DLC tracks included, hence the Complete Edition subtitle. Not sure anyone's going to be rushing out to buy this. Catan's Super Deluxe Edition is maybe releasing this week. This is a release that has been listed like almost every week, but never actually did come out. I think maybe this is the week. It's a video game of a board game. I'm sure it has its fans, but this is the one and only time I will be mentioning it. I think it's North American only. Opus Echo of Starsong Full Bloom Edition should also be getting its release this week. I've mentioned this before, but it did get a last minute delay, kind of like Slave 0X. So yeah, now is the time. And it's an amazing narrative-focused game. Alright, the low print releases. Monster Camp XXL is Super Rare's latest game. It's the sequel to Monster Prom, which was their biggest printed game ever, in an absolute moment of madness. Who thought 9,000 copies would be cool for such a niche game? Anyways, this is more of the same, like a multiplayer dating sim that's far too cool and hip for me to even talk about in any useful or substantial way. I haven't changed my hair color in 18 years. I'm not built for this sort of thing. There are 4,000 copies available, but wait, that's not all, because this cannot be bought by itself. Monster Roadtrip XXL is also from Super Rare and must be purchased in a double pack with Monster Camp. This is the third game in the series, and normally I would be annoyed at the fact that you're forced to buy a double pack, but let's face it, one can assume if you're the kind of person to buy Monster Camp, you're the kind of person to buy Monster Road Trip. You're either not going to buy any of them, or you're going to buy both of them. There's not much in between, so I'll let it slide. But wait, there's more, because they still have copies of the first game to flog. They printed 9,000 copies, of course they've still got some. So you can also buy a triple pack including the older game they're desperate to get rid of with a nice cover sleeve, which unfortunately you can't buy separately, which sucks for those who bought the first already. Never mind. Everything together is like 4,000 copies of each on the market, and our executive producer Cartoon Soren has chosen this as his pick of the week. Spica Adventure, Spica, I don't know how to say this, is available for pre-order right now at Strictly Limited Games. This is a Taito game that was originally a super early mobile game, but then went to arcades. This is the first time it's been on a home console and in English. I believe this is exclusive to their website because I'm not even sure in games can amputate anything out of this one to send it to retail. It looks like a simple game, vomitingly colourful. I actually like it, it's something I could get behind, but you do have to worry about Strictly Limited. Every passing day looks worse and worse for those guys. They've been taking a lot of pre-orders, but they haven't been producing anything new in like a year or something. They've been busy trying to flog bundles and t-shirts. Oi! Don't associate with me. I mean, if you want to get physical, how about actually print something physical? Anyways, Spica, you can pre-order this right now. At the time of writing this and recording this on Saturday, they still have 95% stock. And our executive producers, Totally Grateful and Instacritic, have chosen this as their pick of the week. Alright, we're heading into the imports Play Asia territory. If you want to import any of the games in this section, please consider using the Play Asia links. It's a fantastic way to support us, and anybody who does, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Plus, we can support you too. Yes, we have our discount code Jordan24. You get 5% off with the code Jordan24, but please make sure you click the link first, okay? Irem Collection Volume 1 is releasing in Japan this week. I did a mini impressions video over on Physical Paradise when I rebooted the channel, and I actually like this. It won me over because the games are a lot of fun and you get different versions which do play differently. You may remember Strictly Limited did put out pre-orders for this physically in Europe, but they just came out to say they are delaying it so that the game can be patched, and totally not because they don't have enough money to print them. I mean, maybe there are some small issues with the game, but I played for like a couple of hours and it seemed fine to me. This Japanese version should have English according to the Japanese eShop, and there is a standard edition and collector's edition, and our executive producer Punky Dooster has chosen this as his pick of the week. Fitness Boxing featuring Hatsune Miku, Ishoni Exercise sadly does not have English, but I don't think that's a huge hurdle if you're a fan of Hatsune or Fitness Boxing franchise. It's good motivation to be hounded by your favorite idol into being more of a man. This has 24 songs from Hatsune plus 30 songs from the Fitness Boxing series, so there's plenty to be getting on with. And even if you have to fiddle with the menus a bit, I'd have thought, it's fine to import. And I would have said this probably would not get a physical release in the West, but I said the same thing about Fitness Boxing Fist of the North Star, which did eventually get a Western physical release against all odds, so anything is possible. And yeah, that's it for this week, but there is an issue with a couple of games I need to give you notice of. Firstly, Goblin Slayer. Like a few days before this Japanese exclusive was due to release, suddenly the publisher backtracked on English being available on the cartridge. Yes, Goblin Slayer, my most anticipated import of the year, suddenly does not have English, at least not at launch. It will be added later at an unknown date. Now, Play Asia did their due diligence by emailing everyone who ordered it and explained the situation, and do you want to cancel your order or not before we ship it, which is good. So yeah, if you care about having English on the cartridge, you may want to cancel your order if you haven't already, or if you're on the fence and now you know there is no English currently. Also, I have mentioned Tokyo Psychodemic, which I mentioned in my just announced physicals video over on Physical Paradise. It's listed as having English by PlayAsia, but if you check the Japanese eShop, the eShop listing, which is open for pre-order, does not have English, nor does the demo, which is really worrying because this is my second most anticipated import this year. My theory is that it will have English at launch, but the demo is only in Japanese, so they had to state only Japanese. But maybe I'm just hoping for too much. We'll have to see. Just hold off on pre-ordering, even though this looks amazing. And finally, before I go, I want to give a shout out to Godshard Chronicles. I don't normally mention Kickstarters, but this is one premium edition games are involved in, and it genuinely looks awesome. If you click the link below to the Kickstarter, you will see an action RPG inspired by The Secret of Mana, the Luna RPG series, and a link to the past. It's also 2-player co-op if you want it to be, and it looks beautiful. It sounds beautiful too. Seriously, scroll down to like near the bottom of the Kickstarter page, listen to the music sample, it will make a grown man cry. So you can pre-order the physical version via Kickstarter, which helps get the game funded. It's not currently fully 100% funded as of making this. There's standard and retro edition. Plus, if it does get funded, then Premium Edition's website will have physical pre-orders closer to release date. The only thing different will be the slipcover, so there will be a difference there. Now, there's no community spotlight this week because I'm immensely busy playing Final Fantasy VII. Okay, guys, cut me some slack. Okay, it's just what I need. And don't send me any more pictures because I've probably got enough already. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Let's Get Physical. If you did, please leave me a unicorn emoji in the comments. There must be a unicorn emoji. If there's not, then people just aren't paying attention to what's important in the world, okay? And special thanks to our executive producers, as always, Dane Wilkinson, God of Resin, Boombox, Brent McLean, Santa Tartaruga, Alexander Cato, JCross7776, Punky Doostar, Cartoon Soren, Robotech Z, Raven Knight, Thorn Metaluna, Parsnip Coffee, Isa, Vey, Mental Traveler, Our Phone, Jennifer M, Instacritic, Precision Plague, Karacha, Totally Grateful, Alex M, and Fee. Please go check out some of our other stuff, okay? Go watch them now.